The birthstone for September is sapphire, which is one of the most well-known and loved gemstones in the world of precious stones. Sapphire is actually the blue variety of the mineral called corundum. Chemically, it's aluminum oxide, and the blue color comes from tiny amounts of iron and titanium. It has a hardness of 9 on the Mohs scale. This means it's one of the hardest natural materials, second only to diamond. This makes it super durable, which is great for jewelry. Even though many people only think of blue sapphires, all colors of corundum are actually called sapphire, except for red ones, which are called rubies. The classic blue color is due to tiny amounts of iron and titanium, but there are also pink sapphires, which get their color from chromium. Yellow and orange ones get their color from iron, and there are even white, green, and purple ones. The special Padparadsha sapphire stands out with its beautiful pink-orange color. Its name comes from Sanskrit and means lotus flower. In its natural state, it often looks dull and rough, but with the right cutting and polishing, it can become amazingly shiny and clear. The best sapphires look like glass and are completely clear. Lower quality ones might be see-through or not clear at all. Some sapphires have a cool star effect called asterism because of tiny stresses inside them. This makes a star with 6 or sometimes 12 rays appear on the stone's surface. Because sapphire is super hard and doesn't react with chemicals, you'll find it in more than just jewelry. It's also really important in modern technology. For example, the scratch-resistant glass on fancy watches is often made of sapphire crystal because it's almost impossible to scratch. In the electronics world, it's used as a base for LEDs, and in space exploration, it's part of special optical tools. All these uses show that sapphire is valuable not just for its beauty, but also for its amazing physical qualities. There are many famous places where sapphires are found around the world. The Kashmir region is known for producing the most valuable cloudy blue sapphires, famous for their special velvety glow. Myanmar, which used to be called Burma, also provides high-quality stones. Sri Lanka has been a center for sapphire mining for thousands of years, where you can find almost every color. There are also important deposits in Australia, Madagascar, Thailand, and Tanzania, and each of these places produces sapphires with their own unique traits. Even ancient civilizations knew about and highly valued sapphire. According to Persian tradition, the earth rests on a giant sapphire, and its blue light reflects in the sky. Ancient Greeks and Romans saw it as a sacred stone that brought divine favor to the wearer. During the Byzantine Empire, the sapphire became a very important part of court jewelry. Workshops in Constantinople used advanced techniques to work with the gemstone. It appeared in imperial crowns, church leader symbols, and religious items. Byzantine goldsmiths were masters of the cloisonne technique, where sapphires were placed in small compartments surrounded by rich gold and enamel work. The sapphires in the Byzantine empress's crown stood for heavenly power on earth. In art, the blue color of the sapphire was used as the color of the Virgin Mary's cloak. So, you often see sapphire decorations in images of the Mother of God. In Byzantine church jewelry, especially on altar crosses and gospel covers, the sapphire showed divine light. This time period started the tradition of keeping the holiest relics in sapphire-decorated containers. In the Middle Ages, the Christian church saw it as a symbol of heavenly wisdom and divine favor. That's why it was found in bishops' rings, church cups, and relic holders. During feudal times, sapphire crowns and royal symbols stood for divine authority. In knightly culture, the sapphire was a sign of loyalty and honor, so it often decorated the coats of arms and signet rings of noble families. According to medicine at the time, the sapphire had healing powers. People believed it could stop poisons and cure eye problems. During this time, it also became a tradition for pilgrims to wear sapphire jewelry as protective charms. Throughout history, many special beliefs have been linked to the sapphire. In the Middle Ages, people thought that if a woman was unfaithful, the stone on her finger would turn dark. so it was often used to test loyalty. In India, however, the blue sapphire was seen as a stone with two sides. If it fit the wearer, it brought great luck and wealth, but if not, it caused bad fortune. Because of this, many people would try it out for a short time before keeping it for good, just to make sure it truly had a good effect on them. The sapphire played an important role not only in jewelry and religious symbols, but also in literature and art. Romantic poets like Goethe called it the stone of truth and pureness of soul. In Renaissance painting, the heavenly blue of the Virgin Mary's cloak was often compared to the color of sapphire, even if the pigment was actually made from ground lapis lazuli. The two stones thus became symbols of each other, and the name sapphire became linked with the ideal of heavenly divine blue. In the Georgian era, in the first half of the 18th century, the sapphire was especially liked by the English upper class. At this time, rose cuts and table cuts were common, as modern cutting methods were not yet available. A special feature of Georgian sapphire jewelry was that the stones were placed in very closed, protective settings, which helped keep the gemstone safe. The Victorian era brought about the true rebirth of the sapphire. Queen Victoria herself loved this gemstone, especially after Prince Albert proposed to her with a sapphire ring. This act had a huge effect on the fashion world at the time. Victorian jewelers used more advanced cutting methods and often paired sapphires with diamonds. It was common during this time to create pieces with multiple stones, where sapphires played a main role. The dark, midnight blue sapphires were the most popular, fitting perfectly with the sad and romantic mood of the time. The Art Nouveau period brought a big change in how sapphires were used. Jewelers like René Lalique, who were famous for Art Nouveau, didn't just use the usual blue sapphires. They also started using sapphires of many different colors. In jewelry that looked like things from nature, sapphires often looked like flower petals, leaves, or even insect wings. Designs that weren't symmetrical, and shapes that looked natural, opened up new ways to use sapphires. During this time, people also started to like natural sapphire crystals that weren't cut, or were only cut a little bit. The Art Deco period was one of the brightest times for sapphires. The geometric shapes and bold color mixes of the 1920s and 1930s were perfect for the many colors of sapphire. Famous jewelers of that time, like Cartier, Van Cleef and Arpels and Tiffany and Company, made amazing pieces where sapphires were the main focus. Sapphires of different colors were often put together, creating the bright color palettes that were typical of that time. Emerald and step cuts became popular. These cuts showed off how clear and colorful the sapphires were. In spiritual traditions, the sapphire is known as the stone of wisdom, clear sight, and spiritual awakening. Ancient teachings say it brings peace and inner calm to the person who wears it. The sapphire is especially connected to the throat chakra, helping with clear talking and speaking the truth. People often use it in meditation to help them focus, because it helps get rid of mental distractions and keeps their attention. In Hinduism, the sapphire is the stone of Shani, or the planet Saturn, which brings discipline, strength, and a sense of duty to the wearer's life. In Christian tradition, the sapphire is a sign of God's care and heavenly wisdom. It is believed to protect the wearer from bad energy and help them make good choices. In crystal healing, the sapphire is seen as a stone that can help in many ways. The blue sapphire is thought to calm the nerves, lower stress, and help with sleep problems. It is said to make the immune system stronger and help the heart stay healthy. The pink sapphire is linked to emotional healing, helping to deal with past hurts and opening the heart to new love. The yellow sapphire helps boost confidence and creativity, while the white sapphire supports purity and spiritual growth. At the start of the 20th century, a new chapter began for the sapphire. In 1902, a French chemist named Auguste Verneuil was able to create it in a lab. The man-made sapphires created using the Verneuil method look and act very much like natural ones, which changed the study of gems forever. On one hand, the stone became more available to everyone, and on the other hand, it made it harder for experts to tell the difference between man-made and natural ones. This new way of doing things is still very important in the world of gemstones today. Modern gemology looks at the sapphire from a scientific point of view. When judging a gemstone, the rules of the 4 C's, color, clarity, cut, and carat weight, are used. The strength and clearness of the color are the most important things that tell its value. Natural, untreated sapphires are very valuable, even though many ways to make their color better are used today, like heat treatment or diffusion methods. So the sapphire shows both its lasting physical qualities, its special meaning, and its spiritual power. For those born in September, it is thought to be especially lucky, as it is believed to bring wisdom, loyalty, and inner peace to the person who wears it. Today, the sapphire is not just a birthstone, it has become a timeless symbol in jewelry and cultural history. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for being here. See you in the next video.